Hello, Livestream Legends! What up, what up, what up? Hello and welcome to another episode of Livestream Legends. Today we're coming at you with music and audio setup. This is something that has been continuously asked over and over, is how do we get this subtle little music here in the background of a stream? Something very seemingly simple on the outside that we're gonna tap into today. So welcome to the party. Please let me know if you're hopping in here with us. Drop a quick little comment. Appreciate you joining the party. Tender Sausage is with us over on Twitch. Good to see you, brother. Saad is joining us from France. Peter coming in hot from Vietnam. Gotta love it. Yes, please do. Let me know where you're coming in from. Today, we are tackling the next step of our live stream adventures. For those of you that are new here, we are sharing the journey of becoming live stream legends together. I've been streaming this last year, just figuring it out as I go along, and I'm sharing that journey with you guys, as well as all of the best tips and advice and gear and production strategies I can share with y'all. So today we are gonna be firing up a solid session of Livestream Legends powered by Restream. Let me know where you're coming in from. Good to see you, Jackie. Good to see you, DJ Mike, Jenny, Misty, Peter. Welcome to the party. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Welcome to Live Stream Legends. Let's enjoy this evening. And if you have any questions throughout the day, share it with me and we'll tackle them pretty simply. So, just waiting for the room to warm up here, get everybody in here. Thank you guys for joining on LinkedIn and on Twitch. I see YouTube gang is here as well. Amazing. Saad, I did not forget you. We did see you coming in from France. I believe it's Saad. But good to have you here. Regardless, let's go ahead and fire this up. What we are going to be talking about today is essentially the different creative ways that you can set up and control your audio. So this is going to be something that's for streamers, as well as podcasters. And if you want to be a producer, just a remote producer of these things, please do let me know. Kevin Cheek, good to see you in here, brother. A good old buddy of mine from college. Welcome. Appreciate seeing so many people here. So we are about to get started. Just want to let a few more people roll in here. And essentially what we'll be going over today is everything that you'll need to do to control your stream. So I'm going to pull this chat graphic off. Thank you guys so much. We're about to fire it up in a second, and I will switch the overlay. Boom. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And this is what we're going to be tapping into today is controlling your stream. So let me know your experience level in the chat. Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and pull this music down now that we're getting started. Let me know your experience level. If you're a noob, if you're kind of mid-level, or if you're advanced, drop that in the chat. New, mid, or advanced, and I'll try to cater my language here to your guys' situation to set this up. But essentially, we are going to be going over two things that are very similar in the world of audio routing: how to get music in your streams and how to utilize multi-track audio. This is going to be something very powerful for anybody that's wanting to release their show as a podcaster or any type of audio format. So who is this for? If you are similar to me doing this thing right now, doing the solo streamer thing, you are definitely gonna love what is on deck. Being able to control this is a super, super powerful way to not only hold engagement, but also to share any creative ideas or creative elements that you have in your head. A lot of the times, audio is a big portion of that. So solo streamers are going to love it. Podcasters, if you're interested in any type of repurposing, this is really a game changer. You can actually repurpose your live stream episodes. And if you have the right setup, you can polish them up and publish them as legit pro sounding podcasts. So we're going to be tapping into what exactly that looks like, how it works. And then the last piece of this, even if you're not a front of the camera type of guy, I admit, I enjoy doing these streams and stuff, but in most cases, I would much rather be a producer. So if you are looking into becoming a producer or a remote producer where you can run other people's streams for them as a paid service, this is a game changer to be able to control multiple tracks and sources of audio, so that there are essentially a limitless array of what you can do with your productions and guests and multiple guests or people coming in with different situations and audio levels. All of that is going to be relevant for you guys. So if any of the above sound relevant to you, you're gonna enjoy this. So appreciate the kind words. I see Kirsten hopped in here. Misty is hanging with us. Says, I like you front and center. I'm getting more used to it, but let's go ahead and I'm gonna crank up a little bit of an example of what we're talking about here. I've got my fader. I can bring in a little bit of background music now that we're getting started with this adventure. So those of you that were with us last week, what did we talk about? We talked about what is streaming and how do we get you set up? And essentially it's all about capturing and controlling information. That's all streaming is about capturing and controlling information and sending it in different ways. So one of the things we went over last week was how to capture the information with these microphones and cameras and everything. This week's goal is how do we control that information? How do we control how it shows up? And in most cases, this is exactly how. We're gonna want to look at some form of a mixer, whether it's virtual, physical, or hybrid. That's what we're going over today, is the setup of how we can control your microphone, the guests, and any music or secondary audio. How do we control that, blend it in a professional way, and send that off to our stream That is the ultimate goal of what we're shooting for. And these are our tools of how you can get there. I come from a music production world as a music producer of pop and EDM songs forever. I've been very acclimated to how to manage audio and control audio in creative ways. So this first option, a hardware mixer, is something I'm most familiar with, but I know a lot of people that are gonna be struggling with those. So we do have alternative options lined up for you guys. So again, anybody that is hanging out with us, please do drop any questions or specific problems or concerns here in the chat. We're gonna try and keep this very reactive. So Savvy Turtle, I see you rocking and rolling. Luke Matthews hanging with us. Jackie Curley, thank you so much. So these are the options we're going over today, and I promise you one of these will work for you. You have multiple options in front of you, but let's go ahead and start with option number one, which is a physical hardware mixer. You need to be able to control the audio somehow. Once you have a mic set up, which we've gone over last week, you need to send it to something to be able to control the information. And this is currently what I am using at the moment. You can see, I'll put it full screen here and switch the webcam over, but that little mixer right there is actually the anchor point of all my audio. And if we want to bring that music back out so that I can use these clips for micro content, I can do exactly that. So this is a hardware hybrid mixer that mixes digital software with a physical control. Brilliant for me to be able to have physical faders and controls in the stream. However, the actual super pro version is going to be an analog mixer. If you understand audio engineering, you understand the big boy process of audio engineering and stream engineering, this actually might be a better option because you have far more control. Again, what we're talking about today is how to control this audio, this information. And these are the first two ways. These are going to be the most expensive options, but they do give you the most control. So if you are pursuing this, expect to spend at least a couple $100 if you want to do it right. So that's the setup for how you can control audio through a hardware mixer. Now, I know most of you may not be interested or able to invest at that level. So what we have is alternative options to control the same information. This is where we bring in a software like Voicemeeter, or they have several other versions of it as well that you can utilize. So there's many options of how you can go about this. I see Usama is rocking and rolling with us. Welcome to the party, brother. Savvy Turtle is mentioning he has the Go XLR and a Rodecaster Pro. So again, this is all about figuring out what works for you. We're all going to be coming into this with slightly different budgets and technical abilities and knowledge. So this is going to be the option if you don't have any physical mixer. This is going to give you the most control, but it is also the most difficult to set up. So this option is going to be best for you if you want to keep things very cheap, and you can use the VB Audio Voicemeeter. And all this is a virtual mixer. You guys can see here, these faders are essentially doing the exact same thing that it's going on here with these faders. The only difference is you're not controlling it physically. This is a software solution on your computer or on your PC that you utilize to control the information. So, Savvy Turtle's mentioning no budget and business plan. And that's the beauty of this is you can jump into streaming. We've reached a point in history and technology development that you can jump into streaming for free and also have just ridiculous quality. So we will be going over the pro version of that. But remember, all of this is a spectrum. So if some of this is feeling super advanced, don't let it stress you out. It's all just iterative steps to get better and better. So if you need a audio control, an audio mixer, but do not have the money to spend, go to VB Audio and snag the voice meter. They have different versions of it. I see Tender Sausages in here mentioning, I think he's got the voice meter potato, voice meter banana is another one. They have different levels of complexity depending on what you want to do. So again, I realize, trust me, I know how difficult and overwhelming and some of this may sound like gibberish, but please, if any of this is confusing or you hit any hurdles, reach out to me or anybody here in this chat in other areas. There's always going to be options ahead of you and people that want to support you. So don't let it get you overwhelmed. But this is going to be the cheapest solution for sure. So please consider a software mixer if you cannot make the jump to hardware. And now what most of you will be interested in is using something that already exists within your studio or within the tool you're using to stream. So in this case, you can utilize your stream software, whatever you're using, and utilize it in creative ways. Many people, if you're familiar with OBS, that is essentially the big boy of broadcasting software. This is how most professional shows and productions are run, is through OBS. But what many of you are going to be excited to hear, if you're not the super tech savvy or you get overwhelmed by stuff that looks like this and gets really intense and technical, the multi-track audio is now becoming controllable in Restream Studio and some of these platforms that are becoming an all-in-one. So Restream Studio has added multi-track recording as well as multi-track control. So you guys will be able to see here, it's going to get kind of Inception-like for a second. I'm going to pull this up. But if you can see this meter right here is actually in Restream Studio and controlled entirely in this. So if you had yourself, your guest in the same studio, you now have multi-track control over the audio. This wasn't something that's been done before. In most cases, in Zoom calls and other streams, all of the audio and all of the video and content is merged together as one source. So those of you that were interested in the podcasting piece, you're going to be very interested in that piece because you'll be able to have separate recordings of yourself, your guest, or if you have music or a game or something up on a separate channel, you can separate all of those in Restream Studio. So there's a bottomless pit of how to control that in OBS. There's a ton of plugins and effects and filters that you can set up. But the Restream Studio version is going to be way more user friendly. So again, this is about catering to your style and to your world. There is no one size fits all solution. And even when you find a solution, it's likely you're going to want to advance or use it in creative or new ways. So that pretty much gives you your 3 options for what you can do to start controlling audio. You can use a hardware mixer, a software mixer, or Restream Studio, or whatever your streaming software is. They should have internal controls like this if you're using OBS, or Restream Studio is going to be your only option for the browser-based ones that have the multi-level recording. So the very, very last option that I'm going to give you guys, because some of you might be overwhelmed right now and we're just like, what the hell is going on? So if that was you in this moment, I have an even easier version that you don't even have to worry about. This was supposed to be an animation, but it's not going. But within Restream Studio, you can actually share your screen and share the audio with it. If all of that prior stuff we were just talking about sounds really overwhelming or intense, or you don't even want to download new software, you can actually do this in Restream Studio by sharing the screen you want that's playing audio. And there's a tiny little checkbox that gives you a quick little option exactly like this. I already have my screen share up, so it's a little difficult to show on the Inception version there. But you can use a single stream like this little Spotify window I have open, share the screen, and the audio is now controllable as a source in Restream Studio. And you can play games with, if you wanted it in the background, but you still wanted it full screen. You could have the music playing in the background, maximize your screen, and then just ignore the screen share if you want. So something like that could bring everything together in a very, very simple way. It's as simple as sharing a screen like in Zoom. So that is for sure the path of least resistance. So if all of the prior stuff sounded or looked overwhelming, just go ahead and try Restream Studio. There is a link right here in the description that you can get started for free, as well as earn a nice little bonus when you get set up. So path of least resistance, Restream Studio. But if you prefer getting nitty gritty into the details and into the advanced audio routing, this is what you want to be mindful of, is creating separate pieces for your stream versus your recording. This is going to be something that's very powerful for those of you that were wanting to re-release a live stream or a show or something as a podcast or as micro content after. This is something that you can do through your mixer, either your audio mixer or your studio mixer, to essentially control what pieces go to the stream and what pieces go to a recording. So again, in prior years before all of this, your only option was to have a blended, mixed recording of your audio, your guest's audio, and then any other channels or tracks that were in there all together. So that's okay if you have perfect audio and everything goes great. But in most cases, that is not how life works. Somebody's audio is going to be way higher. Your mic is really low. And then the backing music has copyrighted material, so you can't end up playing it. That's typically what happens. So what an ideal solution would be is to create a situation in your mixer where your stream is sending a separate signal than a recording. So if you wanted to release a podcast, you could use setting up the mixer as your routing tool and have individual tracks for yourself, your guest, and any background music or games or screen share, anything that came up if you had to play a video during the stream, stuff like that. You would now have full control over all of those. You can remove the music from the recording, publish it as a podcast, and now you have full control over what version. So dozens of ways of how you can utilize that. I know many gamers. If there's any gamers here in the house, let me know. This is another way that maybe you only want your gaming clip and you don't want all of the voice chat or people in Discord or Zoom or whatever. This is a creative way that you can route your audio to only specific destinations. So what this might look like in this situation, so I have my audio routing here set up essentially for exactly what we were talking about here, this little Go XLR. This is the tool, the software tool, controlling that audio. So what you can see here with creative options, I can mute specific things only to the stream, only to the chat, only to my headphones. So this is another scenario that happened last week. I was hearing music on my headphones, but it wasn't going to the stream. So if you ever want to create an awkward, embarrassing moment, give yourself a nice little silent disco on stream where you're dancing and there's no music playing. So if you were a part of that last week, thank you so much. That has been resolved exactly through this audio routing. So not going to get too into the nitty gritty details here, but you can see here, essentially it's all about creating control of different destinations of audio. So the simple system I use here is one channel for music, one channel for chat or the guest, anybody talking, one channel for my own microphone, and then sort of a utility channel for anything playing on my computer. That gives me full control with those 4 channels of almost anything I'd want to do. So if you have any interest in figuring all that out, it's a super simple setup. Will gladly help you individually if you're curious, but it is also a bottomless pit of complexity. So please do share any questions or concerns you're having here. This is an open Q&A. Let me drop this cool little thing. For anybody that is curious, we are open to sharing your story, your experience, or whatever it is. Diaco is asking, how can we access this software? So what I was just sharing was the Go XLR software that is attached to a hardware device I purchased. But what you're going to be more interested in is VB Audio. And the product is Voice Meter. That's going to be a better software if you want the software only. So that's going to be the option that you'll want to set up for controlling the destinations of where everything goes. Again, this is all about control. There is no best practice of what to do or what works best. It's about using these tools in creative ways. So there's going to be some situations where you're going to want to hear people chatting, but you don't want it going to your stream, or vice versa. You're going to want to hear music for your stream, but you don't want to hear it personally in your headphones. Those are all the creative ways that you can control that, of what shows up in just your headphones, even to the level of how loud this god beep is, so that I can pretend to on stream and It's just all about control. Not necessary, not needed, but having that control is nice. So I'll pull out of this software. Don't need to be showing that anymore. So if you're wanting to set up that podcast formula, that's really all you need to be able to do is have separate tracks of audio, which is very, very simple in your studio mixer or now in Restream Studio. As soon as I end this show, they have recordings, high quality wave recordings of each individual. So I don't have a guest on right now, but if I brought on a guest, every individual track has its own recording. You can mix and merge and blend them all together. That's basically how the pro podcasts are put together anyways. So let me go through the last piece here, which is, as we've mentioned here, the simplest route is Restream, because they are way ahead of the game of thinking of the solutions of what streamers want, what streamers need. The moment I think of any idea or concept that needs improvement or a feature, I jump into the Restream Slack channel, throw it in the mix, and within weeks they're testing it and have a new idea or a new feature live. So they are really reactive. That is my choice and recommendation for streaming, especially if all of that hardware and routing stuff stressed you out. Just sign up for Restream Studio. You'll be in a much better spot. So I did want to open this up to a Q&A session because, as I've alluded to many, many times before, I'm just figuring this out with all of you guys. I love that everybody thinks and it looks like I'm super, super pro and awesome and been doing this for a decade, but I've just been figuring this stuff out and doing it with all of you guys. Most of you have been along for the journey. So any questions you do have about this, please share. I have some resources and stuff to share with you guys. If you are interested in joining this adventure more for the long term, please jump into this link I just dropped. If you want all of the resources, I'm going to be putting together kind of an e-course camp or something of all these. Join the Beast Club. Beast.club will take you there. It'll just ask for a quick little email. I'll hook you up with all the resources you need. Moving forward to pretty much level up from noob to pro. I can also drop that in the chat here. So you guys should see it on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, all of the above. I'll share these resources with you guys and continuously be leveling up with new episodes and essentially all of the things that I've learned, I'm just packaging up and sharing with the world in creative ways. So we've got checklists, all kinds of links. We got playlists of streamer-friendly music. Get in on that action if it sounds interesting to you. But looking for a few questions. Let me go hunt through here. Savvy Turtle. Thank you for joining us. He's mentioning he's got to hop out. Thank you so much, Savvy Turtle. Amazing, awesome. Luke Matthews still rocking and rolling with us. Thank you, brother. Daiko still hanging. Maria Rus. Thank you guys so much. LinkedIn user asking how to access the softwares. Restream Studio, if you're accessing that software, the link is in the description of this video. Except for Twitch, I guess you don't see that. But for the people that are interested in the actual Restream Studio setup, which was essentially the path of least resistance, that's in the YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn description. If you were interested in the VB audio software, a quick little VB audio voice meter. search will find that for you. It's just going to be at vbaudio.com. That's the software solution. And then the last piece of that was hardware. So I don't think we need to share that with you. So hopefully that helps. If you were asking, I can't see who that was. It just says LinkedIn user. But that's essentially the primary way that you can set up a virtual software to control this audio. I know a lot of people think it has to be physical mixer or fader, but it's actually not the case. The software has gotten really brilliant, really powerful in recent years. So thank you guys to everybody that's been joining. And Tender Sausage just jumped on board to it. Gotta love it. I wonder if the site is not working. No worries. Let me damn, I don't know why that's not working. Well, I'll look into that in any way. No worries. We will keep things rocking and rolling. How about instead of joining this, oh, it's with the S. Damn it. So test your links before you go live, ladies and gentlemen. That link works without the S in the HTTPS. So if you were curious to join that, please do. For some reason, it doesn't work on the LinkedIn side. So that's going to be there for you. vbaudio.com is the source for the virtual software. That's what a lot of people have been using that I'm aware of in our community. If you're interested, now that we are mentioning the community real quick, Dayako, thank you so much for joining us on LinkedIn, brother. I might as well drop another link for our community. If you want to jump into this setup for yourself, or if you just want to see how other people are streaming or kind of tapping into their content creation world or lane, jump into our Discord. We got a bunch of content creators and streamers and everybody figuring it out. At the moment, I see people hopping in on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about the show today or about audio or music or routing, drop them in the questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll answer your questions to essentially you just use this last time here as an open conversation with y'all. That's pretty much where we're at. Adam Fitz, thank you so much. Chelsea, Jennifer, and Kevin could definitely use this course, but I did not see any of them here, unfortunately. So essentially, folks, the options we've chatted about today were ways to control your audio: a hardware mixer, a software mixer, or a studio that is compatible with multi-track. So as I'm aware of, Restream Studio is the only browser studio that can do that. And OBS is going to be your best option for controlling it directly in the stream. So anybody curious about joining us or starting the Restream adventure, please do jump in the link here, start streaming. It's way easier than you're thinking it is, I promise. So that's about it. I'm seeing if any questions are gonna sneak in here, but we essentially have a resource pool set up for you guys. Cornerstone Chapel, I'll send you the link and you guys should be good to go. So gonna keep it rocking and rolling. If there's any final questions, sneak them in. I see LinkedIn gang is still lurking. Drop a quick little comment or like if you've been hanging out with us, or if this has been valuable in any way. Would love to hear from you and see who was hanging out with us today. Adam Fitz, thank you, brother. Jackie Curley, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. Just seeing if there's any final questions. to check in on. Awesome. Well, I think you guys have tapped me out. As always, the line is open for any stuff that you guys are curious about. We're sharing this journey together. If you're connected on LinkedIn, please join. If you're connected, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, please hunt us down. Find this community. There's so many brilliant people growing together here. So appreciate you guys sharing everything with us, because all I'm going to be doing is tapping into all the creative ways we can level up together as streamers, as content creators. Jacob's dropping the emotes, gotta love it. So everybody that's been with us, we're as much as it's a debatable phrase, we're a family of some sorts, and the community that's been coming together has been amazing. So if you've been a part of it, thank you so much. If you have not, you're missing out. But we essentially are gonna wrap this one up. I don't see any more questions. Oh, what up, Nick? No worries, brother. I don't think you needed anything in this stream. This was actually some tips and advice I stole from you. We were sharing voice meter, mixing, and software earlier. So yeah, we are officially at the end of the line, and that's the end. So I'm gonna fire up a tad bit more. Got a couple more minutes to kill and see if anybody's hanging with us. So anybody for this last 5 minutes, open conversation to jump in here. Daiko's asking how to order VB cable in Iran. So you should be able to download the software in via like a VPN or something like that is one of your options. I see Tyrone joining us on Twitch. Good to see you, Tyrone. Thank you for joining us. We are just wrapping up. If anybody has questions about music, audio, routing, redistributing your live stream as a podcast, anything like that, would love to answer your questions, provide support. I'm here for you. That's essentially this entire setup of this show. So Greg Walters, thank you so much for jumping in here, brother. Glad to see you and the rest of the LinkedIn gang rocking. Thank you guys so much. VB Audio is the software source we've been mentioning. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We're just sneaking in the last like 5 minutes as an open chat. I see a lot of people still hanging with us. Jacob and Nick still rocking and rolling. Beth Donnelly, hello. Welcome to the party. Amazing to see, so much support here. So anybody that's hanging, we are wrapping up, Beth, but thank you for jumping in late. This is the final 5 minutes or so. We're just having an open conversation for questions as I share any potential resources. I know a lot of people have been asking about music continuously. How do you get this background music here? So this episode had all of that information here through hardware mixers, software mixers, and hybrid options that are controlled through your studio. So give this one a little rewatch if you're just joining. I see the LinkedIn party is hitting double digits, well into double digits now, but we are unfortunately just ending the episode. So appreciate you guys hanging out. I have dropped the Restream link for anybody that's curious how to get started streaming. Absolutely is going to be Restream Studios, the suggestion. And the rest of y'all that were looking for sources, I'm going to be sharing all kinds of resources through the Beast Club. Greg, this is exactly what I'm chatting about right now, is something that I think I'm putting together. At the moment, it's 100% free. It's just needs your email address so I can connect with you. But definitely we'll be putting together a course or program of some sort, maybe a hybrid of both, where you can learn anything and everything you need about streaming. So that's just the home base to stay in the loop on those resources. So if you want to get started streaming, jump in the description and start with Restream. If you want to learn get pulled into our world and our community, jump into the beast.club site and drop your email. You'll be in the loop with us. So Ben's Brick Designs, appreciate you hopping in on the YouTube. Thanks so much, man. We are finishing up, but this was a solid episode. So thank you to everybody that has been rocking and rolling with us. Appreciate you very, very much. Beth, thank you for joining. Greg, thank you for joining. Daiko, appreciate you hopping in on LinkedIn. Misty as well. We have hit our 45-minute mark. I'm gonna wrap this up, but thank you guys so much for joining another episode of Livestream Legends, powered by Restream. What we are doing every single week is leveling up together. I am just figuring out these live stream adventures 1 week at a time, as many of you have been a part of, but we also are leveling up 1 week at a time. So that's the game plan. If that sounds interesting to you, join us next week and every week to level up. And Daiko, I'll just go ahead and I'll send you guys some direct messages if you're curious about anything going on here. And then the last thing is going to be a link here in the chat or in the description that anybody can join, is always open. Join the party, join the club. Let's do this. And Beth D loves the background music. Thank you so much. And we are wrapping up this episode. Appreciate it. Take care, Beth. Take care, Daiko. Thank you guys to everybody that joined on Twitch. Appreciate you joining Livestream Legends. Take care, folks.